serving is seriously like going to the grocery store with no meal plan, no shopping list, right? Have you done that? I do it all the time. So you're just going, you're just like, I'll take one of those, one of those, one of those. Next thing you know, you have half the ingredients for spaghetti, a fourth of the ingredients for fajitas, and then a carrot cake, and you don't even like carrot cake. So, and then you're throwing away produce you didn't use and you wasted it, right? It's kind of the same thing if you show up without clarity on who you're talking to in social media, for your reels, for your lives, whatever it is. So finding clarity in your audience and who you're speaking to is really gonna make a difference when you're content creating and when people are viewing you and you're trying to gain new followers or viewers or customers, whatever it might be. So Paige and Danny both let me put their beautiful little Instagrams up here. Paige knows exactly who she's talking to. She's a natural makeup specialist talking to 30 plus women who deal with those things, fine lines, redness, melasma, we all start dealing with that. And then Danny, she allowed me to use this too, she struggled with who she was talking to for a while. And if you guys have ever heard Jackie Richards speak, she talks about throwing spaghetti against the wall, right? Danny did that for a long time until she kind of really honed in on who she wanted to speak to, and who she was speaking to was her. She was speaking to people like her. She wants to help women who deal with hormonal acne and as a mama. So they've really honed in on who they're talking to. Now you might say, Kaila, okay, but how do we do that? So here are some ideas if you're struggling with how to find some kind of clarity. So I like to tell my own artists, think about the 2, 3, or 4 problems that the makeup solved for you. Now, if you're like, hey, I just like the makeup, I don't have skin issues, lucky you, I'm happy for you, but think about what maybe it would serve or how it has helped your customers. So what I mean by that is when I first started Saint, I started using Saint, I was a new mom, just trying to feel like myself. So when I start to lose a little bit of clarity, I'm like, okay, Kaila, I'm trying to create a reel right now. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I go back to the problems it solves. So I make a reel about new mamas trying to feel like themselves. Guess who I attract? New mamas trying to feel like themselves. We're just new mamas. Okay, the other thing is I constantly talk about how after I had my son, my skin started to change, and I just wanted something that was going to serve my skin a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit better for my skin, because that $50 bottle foundation was not looking good anymore. Okay, so who am I talking to? A huge range of people. So many people are looking for something better for their skin. Okay, also when I first started Saint, I was on a huge budgeting journey. So I constantly brought up the affordability of Saint, at least it was affordable for me, and I would talk about that, so guess who I'm talking to? The people looking for more budget-friendly makeup. Okay, so those are kind of just some examples on how I always go back to who I'm speaking to when I feel like I'm starting to lose clarity. And really what you're doing is you're just giving solutions to your viewers, your followers, your customers. And when they ask a question, hi, thanks customer for my content idea, write all the customer questions down. It's your content right there. They're doing the work for you a little bit. Okay, this is really awkward to see my face like this big up on screen, but it's what I had to work with. So, some examples of solving problems. The first one has nothing to do with makeup. Oh, just kidding, yes it does. It's me talking about being a new mom, and this is how I introduce it.
If you're a mom with kids at any age, you know there are times or seasons where you just don't feel like you. You feel like you're in the perfect role in your life, but there are just times when...
Okay, so I'm solving the problem for mamas who need to feel like that. This next one, I get questions about this all the time. How do you get volume for your fine hair? So guess what I did? I made content on getting volume for my fine hair.
Fine hair gals, we all know how frustrating it is to try to get volume to stay in our hair, right?
Moving on from my face. So real awkward. So those are some ideas that you could use when you're just trying to figure out how to build content. But when you think about the content that you absorb, we're really always kind of absorbing content that's either empowering us, educating us, or entertaining us. Sometimes they intertwine and do multiple. Okay, so Crystal here, she is is the hype girl for social sellers. She likes to hype up entrepreneurs. She knows who she's talking to. She has clarity in that. And then she shares about the makeup. And the people that she's attracting are her entrepreneurs and social sellers. Emily here, the second one, she had a gastric sleeve, and now her page is speaking to gastric sleeve patients. She is educating them on the different things that you go through after having one, while she also shares makeup, but she knows who she's talking to. And then Elise Myers, oh girl, she's good. She not only entertains, but she totally empowers, but she does something a little different. She story tells, and that's super trendy right now. So if you're like, I don't even know what to talk about, just story tell, get vulnerable. Here's another couple, Jacqueline there. She speaks to those who are getting out of narcissistic relationships. She builds a community for them so that they know that they're not alone. She empowers those people. In the middle, that's Stephanie. She educates not just on Saint, but she educates using makeup tips because she is a makeup artist. And then, my face again. I like to kind of entertain while educating. I like to be a little bit relatable. So, just if you're thinking about how you're going to build content, sometimes just going back to those. Okay, nourishing engagement. This is probably like more important than actually making content. The next piece is going to be more making content, but that's okay. We'll move on after that. So reels worth watching if you're like, I just don't know how to make a reel, how to make one that people are going to kind of start following me for, because really, if you're building a social media business, you really are trying to get new followers, right? New eyes on your product, new eyes on you, whatever you offer them. So Jackie has a catchy hook here. It says, do you sell something? You don't have to keep doing this. And so if I'm someone scrolling, I'm like, hey, I sell something, what do I have to not keep doing? I want to know. So catchy hooks are really the showstopper, because you guys, we're in a world of instant gratification, and we're like a little kind of selfish, and so if you don't have something that's going to stop somebody, they might just scroll by. Now, tight edits, storytelling doesn't always have tight edits, but again, if I'm teaching my 8-year-olds, teaching them math, and I don't move through the math lesson fast enough, I lose them. And then we gotta get up and do jumping jacks, and they get mad because they don't want to do them, and I'm like, well, same, but okay. So if you don't move on to the next point fast enough, sometimes you lose people and then they just scroll. I catch myself doing that. Like if someone doesn't have tight enough edit, no offense, I just scroll because I'm like, oh, I'm busy, I have to go do things. So here's an example of some tight edits.
To show you a dummy-proof way to do your eyebrows. Same with our brow wax, I just got my spoolie a little bit damp, and I'm going to swirl it all into the wax. Then I'm just going to slight.
Okay, such a good still frame, right? Good? No. Okay, so tight edits are good, and then call to action. You guys, I always go back to teaching, obviously, because I'm a teacher, but 8-year-olds, you gotta tell them how to line up. Like, it's really weird. I'm like, hey, let's go to races. Mob, out the door, Coke bottle, it's awful. So I have to push in your chairs. Walking level 0. You have to tell your viewers or your potential followers what you want them to do. It doesn't have to be hard. Just start with follow for this. Jackie here, she has tag someone who needs to read this. So just tell your followers what you want them to do, or tell your potential followers what you want them to do. So, I don't know about you, but when I'm scrolling, if I do, I usually am feeling something. Now, it doesn't have to be like moved. I don't have to have my heartstrings yanked on every single time, but at least interest. You want to make your viewers feel something. Pay attention to how you feel when you're scrolling. Anyone else watch the true crime reels or anything? Why do we do that? I can't sleep afterward. My husband's gone at night because he's a first responder. I'm like, oh, but I can't stop watching because I'm so interested. It makes me feel something. Also, it makes me feel terrified, but it's fine. So you want to make them catch feelings. Did you know the new trendy way to say I like someone is I caught feelings? It's so cringy, but so make your potential followers catch feelings about your content. Now this is so important, in my opinion. Also, this is what I did to grow following, you guys. I'm just saying, this is what worked for me, and this is what I truly believe has helped my business grow to what it is. You have to make your customers and your followers feel heard. So first of all, some people might disagree with this, but I think tailoring my content to help and serve them is super important. Now I know I could say like, oh, well, it's my page, so I can do, you know, whatever I want on my page. But if you're telling these people like, hey, come follow me for easy family recipes, and then you never post a family recipe, and you're talking about like, you know, Taco Bell, I'm like, hey, I thought we were doing family recipes. If you're never serving them and actually following through with the promise that you were giving them, well then why are they following you? You have to tailor your content to help serve them if that's what you want your social media business to do, is to get you potential customers for sale. We're artists. Respond to comments. Now, I'm not saying go do, like, respond to every single comment, but spend 10 to 20 minutes. I think we all know that. Spend 10 to 20 minutes responding to your people. Let them know that you care, that they took time out of their day to comment on your stuff. Okay? Also, ask about their life. Go comment on their profile. You see